Hello, this is Yalla Arabi YouTube series. We are actually filming the 100th clip, which is quite something we should be all celebrating, by the way, since it's been an effort since 2009, 2010. So we came to Washington D.C. Dulles Airport to interview Andy Lei, who is a good friend of mine since when we were in Cairo in 2009. And I came all the way down to the Dulles Airport to ask him a few questions about his experience of learning Arabic in Egypt. So first of all, please let us know who you are.
Oh, sure. Well, I'm originally from California. I've lived in the Washington, D.C. area for 7 years. And about 5 years ago, I developed an interest in Arabic. And now I'm going back to Egypt for one more year to continue my pursuit of the Arabic language. I started about 5 years ago, but I think it's better to count in terms of hours. I've put in about 1,500 hours, and that took me about a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Like, did you study Arabic at a formal institution such as universities or like language institutions?
I never studied Arabic at the university. I first studied Arabic at USDA's graduate school in Washington, D.C. That was for about 2 months or 60 hours altogether. And then I moved over to Egypt to study at an Islamic language center, about 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, for about 6 months.
How did you study Arabic?
Like what is my general way of studying Arabic?
Yeah, exactly.
I think in some ways I'm a very traditional student, so I like to have the grammar and the vocabulary and the verbs in front of me, have the teacher explain. And I usually had one-on-one tutoring. But of course, outside of the classroom, it's also good to actually speak and engage with people in the market, the streets, the metro, the buses, and friends. So I've gotten really good with speaking, but my listening actually is quite weak. So when I go back this time, I know I need to focus more on listening to the radio, watching TV shows, and just listening more than I speak. We have 2 years after all, so we should listen twice as much as we speak.
Perfect. So what has been all the impetus behind learning Arabic? It's not, as far as I know, it's not a very unusual choice, I would say, to learn Arabic even in the States.
Right. Well, for me, it goes back to 2007 when I first went to Egypt on vacation to visit a very good friend of mine who was teaching English at a British high school. And before I went, I thought, I don't know Arabic, but I want to talk to the people at a very simple level, like good morning, good evening, hello, how are you, where's the bathroom? And if appropriate, you have beautiful eyes. But of course, that's a very dangerous sentence in the Middle East. So that's when I started taking a 20-hour Arabic class in DC. And I learned 3 verbs, I am, I have, I want. I learned 10 vocabulary words and 3 sentences. My name's Andy, I'm from America, I don't speak Arabic, but I love you people. And with those sentences, I felt like I was in a very good place in Egypt for 2 weeks.
Since you're going back to Cairo right now to further your study in Arabic, there must be like something more apart from the basic rudimentary Arabic you've learned. So what is it? I mean, do you like the people? Do you like the culture? What is it all about?
All of the above. And to put it very simply, the Middle East in general, Egypt in particular, are very special places. The community is stronger in Egypt. When you fall down, 10 people will surround you and pick you up right away. In America, maybe 1 or 2. In Egypt, when you take the bus or the microbus and you have a heavy bag, somebody will tap you on the shoulder and say, give me your bag, and they'll put it on their lap for 5-10 minutes until you need to get off. Then they give it back to you. That doesn't happen in America. People, I feel, are just more welcoming, more hospitable. And because I'm the outsider, I have this face, and I'm studying their language, they're just so happy to see that. So it's a very special place for all those reasons and more.
Really, last question would be, what would be the best way to learn Arabic from your perspective?
Wow. I think it depends on the person's individual learning method. So for me, for example, I know that I need to listen and to repeat. If I can listen to something 2 or 3 times and I repeat it 2 or 3 times, then I get it. Whereas for other people, they have to write it 10 times and then they know it. That's not me. I need to do it here and here.
Okay. Thank you for the interview.
You're very welcome.